where the problem lies, is that we are doing things that go against why our association even exists. So we need to look into that and change it. Now, no one is arguing that the koala can't exist on this campus. What we're arguing is that student fees that are mandated by ourselves should not be going to that publication. I mean that kind of is the issue. We're institutionally requiring ourselves to fund publications, fund activities that are against our own purpose. And we don't need to support those purposes. We're not required to support those things with our students. We have options, and this is the process that we're using to fully develop those options and change the way we run things. The Koala, any other media organization, any organization that is CSI registered has a right to free speech. They have a right to publish. They have a right to distribute their publications across campus. Hell, I founded the Sixth Sense, and our first issue was completely funded without anything from the AS. No AS funding, and we published 3,000 copies of that issue. So it is possible. We're just talking about what we want to fund.
You want to follow up? Yes, but
my follow-up question is actually kind of my first question. What other options did you guys discuss before you did the blanket freeze? When you guys were having your meeting and at the end of the meeting you decided to freeze all funding, what other options were brought to the table before you decided that?
So our conclusion was we could not continue with the current system. That we could not see students
I'm asking the discourse. What other options?
Could you just wait one moment? Sorry, let him try to address it.
Right. So for what we wanted to do, there were no other options that could apply.
What was discussed?
Sorry, no interruptions. We'll keep going with our speakers list. If you'd like to get on to further this, please raise your hand. Blazer in the front row.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a practical question. You're going to make this committee, and you have 5 AS senators on. How are you going to choose those AS senators?
Well, I'm going to email. I guess it didn't get sent out, but there's supposed to be an email out to all of the AS Council, and they can join the committee. I've asked those that I believe have an opposing viewpoint to join the committee. So I actually personally asked John Candello, who has been who has spoken out against everything that we're currently doing. We wanted to have that mix of opinion. You're very welcome. And we'll look at who replies on the listserv. I think I'll probably do like a first come, first serve basis on what senators we choose for the rest of it. But I really wanted John to be a part of the process. I'm getting like him.
So I'm pretty confused about what exactly the goals of these new funding guidelines are to be. I mean, you keep on giving these very vague explanations of preserving the AS objective, but you don't really specifically say what that objective is, except to keep campus harmony and stuff like that. But what are the goals, or objectively, what do you want to do with this? Like
functionally out of this committee? Or
yeah,
out of
what kind of rules and regulations are you trying to come up with out of this committee? What are the goals of those? What are they trying to do? And because I think a lot of people here are worried about sort of the blunt tax being a lot of people.
Oh, right. I mean, our primary goal is to complete the review of the bylaws and institute new bylaws. So all media organizations can be funded for spring quarter. We have no intention of not funding you for spring quarter. We're reacting as quickly as possible. I don't know if that answers your question. Right.
What are the goals? What are we trying to do with things?
Oh, sure. So I mean, it's really easy to meet those three inadequacies that we identified. So first is making sure that we have a system that can more closely align our funding with what our purpose is as an organization. So that,
can you restate that purpose?
Right, so serve the collective interest of the student body.
Well,
I mean, yeah, it is a vague statement. I mean, and it's purposefully vague. For the association, but I think it can be clear that recent events have shown that the way we're currently funding things is going against that stated purpose. I don't think that can be argued. So we want to at least remedy that, because that's the issue we have in front of us. We also want to deal with the issue that some media organizations get a disproportionate amount of funding more than other media organizations. So we'd like to institute a system of equity in there somehow. And I mean, that's what the process of the committee is to do is, hey, we have that issue, how are we gonna fix it?
Okay.
Yeah, I understand. This is really vague. Let's move on to another question. You know, those of you repeatedly raising your hands, I have you written down. There's 14 people on the list. I will get to everyone when there's time. With that, it is now 9 o'clock. Please keep things as short as possible, both from the audience and from people sitting at the table. That'd be great. Okay, thanks. Flash Meany, you're good to go.
How's it going? Once again, I want to emphasize the question of causation here, whether institutional or individual, is key. I mean, it's perhaps the most important question. And in response to some of my colleagues that spoke for me, I agree. There is educational inequalities that focus on racism, not only in UCSD, but throughout the entire country and in California. But that's not what the papers are saying. They're saying that there's an exceptionalism to UCSD, that we're not like the other UCs, that we have a climate of prejudice, a climate of racism. And that is what is not true. That's completely false. It's 20, 30 people that are agitating the situation, they're extremists in thought, and they're essentially obfuscating the entire point of view, and that's what's being presented to the media. I agree, once again, as my colleague stated, there is educational racism, and that's embedded in the system to a certain extent, or to a great extent, depending on how you see the issue. But the population, the demographics of black students here at UCSD is not that far off from other UCs. It's comparable. I think at UCLA it's maybe 2.5%. Here it's 1.5%.
So what does that mean?
It means it means that UCSD
right?
is not exception. No, I'm not saying that it's right. Of course, I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying that UCSD is not exceptional in some kind of racism. We're not more racist than anybody else. There's still a problem, yes, and it has to be addressed. Yes, we have to. But what I'm trying to make known that there's not an exceptional racist problem overall at UCSD. There's 20 to 30 people that are clouding the issue, and that is what the media is picking up, because that is what is most sensational.
Sounds like the same question.
Sorry, we could stop interruptions.
And just to finish, of course, they're not the only questions, but just to finish, a lot of this I've been getting from like recent publications that have gone in regards to this question, the causation question, institutional or individual, and I think that's really what we have to keep in mind, that we can't let these people be the voice of UCSD in the media. I've been here longer than some of the other speakers. The lady in the back said that she had not been here that long. I've been here 2 years now, even going on 2 years. And I have not seen any kind of climate of prejudice, okay? I mean, yes, I'm white, okay? But I have census, and I have not seen anything that would say UCSD is more racist than a comparable UC. I have not seen that.
So you haven't seen it?
Yeah.
Others have.
Sorry, if we could really monitor interruptions for 30 seconds.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Woman in the middle, you spoke before with the headband.
Me?
Yeah, I have you down on there.
Okay,
Next to
so
you,
I
sorry.
just want to say, I'm Bijan. Hi. Okay, so to me, what you guys want to talk about beat behind the bush. Okay, let's get down and let's be real. What happened was racism. You said, the koala said, I'm not going to say, the other newspapers, because we said, we feel for you. And we thank you for coming and supporting us. Seriously, we do. Thank you. Okay, and that goes for every other newspaper there is. As for the koala, what was said was racism. The ungrateful nigger bitches was racism. I don't know and the reason why, and to answer your question, the reason why you're in this situation is because of the koala. And because they don't get it, nothing will change. There is racism, and if we can stop it, we will. And BSU will fight, and if BSU don't fight, Bijan Robinson will fight.